video is how to do live note repeats in Reaper using the Reason Rack. I'm going to show you this so that you can understand that it's important that you do live cadences when you're doing your triplet hi-hats or your note repeats. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to search and browse for the effect, the Reason Rack. Now, you can also put a MIDI choke plugin in there because you're going to need that to make sure that your notes are choked. Now, I only have one note choke because the thing about this is the Reason Rack plugin, when you use it for these note repeats, you're only going to use one MIDI CC note. That's it. Everything is done with velocity with the MIDI, with the Reason Rack plugin. Everything is done based on velocity. So you're gonna have to turn the track up to hear the velocity of the hi-hats. If you're doing trap hi-hats, you're gonna have to turn the track up, the volume up, so you can hear the volume of the hi-hats. Now, what you need to do is you need to right click this. You need to go to parameter modulation link. Now, these are the settings that you need to have. You need to make sure that this is set to MIDI note. Now, whatever note that you want to do your hi-hats on, I'm going to tell you this. So first thing is first, you're going to need different pads assigned to the same MIDI CC note to do this. So if you got a device, you need to be able to have presets that you can go to, that you can have your pads set to the same MIDI CC note, but they're going to have different velocities assigned to those pads. You have to have it done like that to use the Reason Rack plugin like this. So you'll go in that menu and you'll choose MIDI note. I chose MIDI note 39 because I like to put my hi-hat down here, like kick, snare, clap, hi-hat. That's how I like to do mine. So what you want to do is make sure that offset is set to 1 and that scale is set to 100. And that, when you set those settings, that's how you have access to all the banks down here. You get A, B, C, and D with eight banks for each letter of each bank. So you get 64 banks. I mean, 64 patterns. If you do the one offset and the scale 100, you get 64 patterns. So you can do a lot of change ups with this with your hi-hats, and it makes you a hi-hat guy if you can use all those banks and just do switch ups with live instrumentation, cadences with the Matrix pattern sequencer. So we got that. I'm gonna show you it live in effect. I hit record. So that's when I'm recording. See, my loop was jacked up, but it's all good. I fixed it. So, but once you got that going, you got your pattern. Now you want to make sure your track is set to quantize 1/16, and you doing your cadences quick. Everything is done fast, and you don't have to be in there drawing notes all day using, MIDI quantize input, switching up the quantize resolution, and taking all day to do some hi-hat trills. Like, nobody got time for that. Use the Matrix pattern sequencer and jump in there and switch to the pads. Now I got to show you how I did this. So the thing that you need to realize is everything is set up based on velocity. So I told you that before. So when I hit this pad, I'm going to change it. I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to show you the velocities of what I had to set just for the first 8 pads. So the arm velocity is 3 for pad 1. the off velocity is 27, and you have to put 127. So you have to put the off velocity at 127 because you don't want the pattern to cut off. You want it to be live. You want it to keep playing. And what you also have to do is you have to set one of these patterns to be a off. When you have your pattern in here, one of these pattern banks have to be empty. Has to be completely empty so that you can cut your pattern off. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to be playing live, and they're just going to be playing live the whole time. And when you want to cut it off, you hit the pattern, you hit the pad that's going to cut it off. So that one is 3. This one is pad 2 is 6. Pad 3 is 9. Pad 4 is 13 velocity. But remember, the off velocity is 127. Pad 5 is 17 velocity. Pad 6 is 21 velocity. Pad 7 is 25 velocity. Pad 8 is 30 velocity. Now, that's just with this controller. So I got another controller over here. I'm going to play this one and show you that you can do the same thing with that one too. Just to show you that this ain't just no Axiom Pro 49 type thing. And you just let it play back. That's live. Now with this joint right here, you got to go into something called an SMC pad device and configure it. And you can't have your digital audio workstation open while you actually configuring it. I mean, you can, but it's gonna have some problems. So it's gonna give you warnings and stuff like that when you use the SMC pad. But this thing is cheap. You can pick it up on Temu, you know, and it's a good device to have, just to have 16 pads if you just want to see them. You want to see your pads and feel them. You know, it's good to have, and it's got knobs with it too, so it's decent. And it's got transport functionality and all that. So that's pretty much it, man. Like we doing just like, you don't need an MPC, man. You don't need an MPC, because that's really all I need an MPC for, is to do them triplets. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know, man, that's all you need. That's how you do that.